Hey, welcome back to Matt's Garage DIY. Today we're back with another gun bluing comparison, this time Perma Blue Liquid and Perma Blue Paste. Several months ago I compared the Perma Blue and Brownell's Oxo Blue side by side just to look at the difference in color, the difference in application process. You can click on the link above to check that out. But today it's all about Perma Blue. We're going to take a look at the liquid and the paste. From what I've seen online, the paste is maybe a little slower to use, but it's supposed to provide a better finish. So I've cleaned up a piece of angle iron. We're going to put the two on side by side, 3 coats of each, and see how it turns out. Taking a quick look at the instructions are actually the same for both the liquid and the paste. The most important part is to clean your project or your piece of work that you're going to be bluing. You can use denatured alcohol. I often use lacquer thinner just because that's what I have. Clean that piece well. And then it says to brighten it up with some steel wool or an abrasive cloth, clean it again. Then you apply the, whether you're using the liquid or the paste, apply that, let it sit for a minute, rinse it with cold water, wipe it dry. Polish with steel wool, repeat the application, soak, and cleaning. Once you've done the number of coats that you want, then you can give it a coat with some light oil. They recommend their product, obviously the Barricade Rust Protection. I often will just use some light gun oil. Okay, I'm going to start with the Perma Blue Liquid. On the right hand side, I am just going to use some blue shop towel to apply this. Try to go right to my piece of tape there. I put a piece of tape in the middle just so you can see a clear difference or divide between the two. All right, so a good heavy coat of the Perma Blue Liquid. Now I will grab a new piece of paper towel and do the paste on the other side. Okay, I'll let that sit for 60 seconds and then I'll rinse it all off. I've rinsed this off, dried this off. You can now see the two kind of as I run the light back and forth. So again, on the left, the paste, on the right, the blue or the liquid. I feel at this point, although neither has provided a good, kind of consistent bluing, I do think that the paste has provided a little bit more even. Definitely with the liquid over on the right, in that center portion, there's always kind of a large spot that hasn't really taken the color very well. That's probably a function of using the liquid. It'll evaporate or dry quicker, whereas the paste has a little bit longer of a kind of a set time or work time. So anyways, there you go. That's step number 1. Let's do this again. All right, coat number 2. So looking at the left side with the paste, as I kind of turn that in the light, you can see the blue really kind of starting to show up there. Unfortunately, the lighting makes this really hard to show, but you can really see the blue kind of showing up there. So move this over to the other side where I've used the liquid. Really not, this is, I'd say, where you really start to see the difference between the two. Not taking the color the same way. I tried to make sure that I put a very heavy coat of both on, but the liquid is not keeping up at this point. Let's do one more coat. All right, here's a look at the final results. On the left, we have the Perma Blue paste. Definitely can see a nice blue tinge to all of that. Then as we move over to the right where we have the liquid, not as strong of a color and certainly more of a black tinge to that. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things I notice is that the paste seems to give you a blue, whereas the liquid gives you that black. I do think that the paste is giving me more color. Maybe that's because the blue is so obvious, but certainly the paste does seem to be more of a color or have more colorant to it. Anyways, there you go. That is my experience with Perma Blue Liquid versus Perma Blue Paste. So there you have it, Perma Blue Liquid and Paste. If you've used either of those products, certainly post your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Love to hear them. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, stay tuned for my next one.